been thinking these past few days about how we are approaching Atmos mixes. I started doing a video on the brand new Waves Immersive Wrapper plugin only to very quickly find out that it did not work in Logic Pro, probably due to some channel alignment issues, same issues with a couple of DRVR plugins a while back, which I'm not sure if they have been addressed yet, please let me know. But the whole thing about compressing both beds and objects together using a side-chained bus compressor in Atmos that does not have a bus by design kinda doesn't vibe well with me, and I wanted to share these thoughts with you and hear, well, read your thoughts. In the different fora about immersive audio and Atmos in particular, and among colleagues at events and such, one of the main, you want to call it, omissions, disadvantages, hurdles, was the absence of a two-bus, as in stereo, where you get to apply the processing of your choice, compressors, EQs, all sorts of saturation, that magic glue everyone's been talking about for years. And it does work wonderfully, but for stereo. Companies will, of course, release products that they think their customer wants. Makes sense. But why that persistence on the part of immersive mixing engineers to apply stereo techniques to Atmos? Maybe Steve can help us shed some light.
You can have many views of what a computer is. My particular view is that a computer is a new medium. A new medium, one of the media, print, television, radio. And a computer will, in the future, be looked at, I think, more in this way, as a delivery vehicle for software, just like a book is a delivery vehicle for its own kind of software. And whenever we develop a new medium, we generally tend to fall back into our old habits from our old medium. As an example, when the television first came of age in America, the first television shows were simply a camera pointed at a radio show. And it took about 20, 30 years for television to really come into its own in the late 1950s. We have this new medium of interactive video because of the laser disc, and what is the first thing we do with it? We put movies on it. So again, we tend to fall back into our old habits. In the same way, when the personal computer was invented, we tended to look at it as a smaller version of a big computer. So we put COBOL and Fortran and these bizarre things on it, and looked at it in terms of simple economics rather than the revolutionary nature that it really was.
If you substituted Atmos, every time he said computer, you got it. Atmos is a different story, folks. It is not stereo. For me personally, I've spent countless hours trying to make the two-bus trick work in Atmos, but again, for me, it does not. Atmos is about nuances. It's about the correlation of elements spread in a 360 sound field. It is about varied dynamics within that 3D space. The space is the glue. Heck, engineers, even mastering engineers, have been using reverb to glue mixes forever. In binaural, the binauralization algos provide plenty of glue, so the immersive experience in headphones is cohesive. In my tests, when adding bus compression to everything, beds and objects, the effect was a bit weird. And weirder when the headphone experience included head tracking. My experience with the 2.0 direct renders has been exactly the same. Glued, no problem. Now, texture-wise, I do see the options and opportunities to, say, mess with the drums a little bit and apply similar processing to the whole kit, but still, again, in my tests, I preferred the sound without a bus compressor. If the only tool you have is a hammer, you tend to see every problem as a nail. This is a famous quote by Abraham Maslow and refers to a concept known as the law of instrument or Maslow's hammer. It refers to an over-reliance on a familiar or favorite tool. It's habits, folks. Old ways of doing things that are cozy and familiar, but as far as I am concerned, inhibit experimentation, which in turn inhibits growth. Catching my drift? Would love to know what you think about this, so please leave a comment below and then check this video for some need-to-know facts about Dolby Atmos.